Wala nang SP race.
Hindi na kayo interesado?
Hindi na. He will be taken care of the Senate President.
Are you supporting Zubiri na lang po, ma'am?
Yeah.
That was an ambush interview with Senator Cynthia Villar. For weeks, it has been a guessing game as to whom between Villar and Senator Zubiri will be the next Senate President. But now, even Villar says there is no race to speak of. She's backing the bid of the Senate Majority Floor Leader.
The Marcos ally, Senator Zubiri, supported the Unity team during the campaign. Zubiri thanked Villar for her support in his ambition to head the upper chamber. Zubiri has now started assigning committee chairmanships. Time for today's biggest headlines. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Robbie Alampay. You're watching The Big Story. Senator Zubiri may very well be the next Senate President after he announced earlier today the committee chairmanships of his fellow incoming senators.
But none of these Senate positions are official until the actual voting in the 19th Congress. Returning Senator and incumbent Antique Representative Loan Legarda says Zubiri will be Senate pro tempore, while Joel Villanueva will be Majority Leader and Kiko Pimentel will be vying for the Minority Leader post.
Zubiri also announced other appointees, including Senator Wing Gatchalian for the Basic Education and the Ways and Means Committees, Senator Nancy Binay for the Committees on Tourism and Accounts, Senator Sonny Angara for Finance, Senator Francis Tolentino for Blue Ribbon, and Senator Amy Marcos for Foreign Relations.
Neophyte Rafi Tulfo has been tapped for the Energy Committee. Fellow first-timer Robin Padilla has been assigned at the Constitutional Amendments Committee. Senator Bongo for the Health and Sports Committees, Senator Cheese Escudero for the Justice Committee, and Senator Bong Revilla for Public Works.
Senator Grace Poe has been assigned the Public Services and Banks Committee, Senator Lito Lapid for Games and Amusements, Senator J.B. Ejercito for the Committees on Local Government and Higher Education, Senator Jinggoy Estrada for Labor and Employment, and for the new Overseas Filipino Workers Committee, incoming Senator Rafi Tulfo. The path seems clear for Zubiri to take on the Senate presidency, so much so that Ferdinand Marcos Jr. sat down with him and other incoming lawmakers to set the legislative agenda.
Question now is, how about the minority? The bloc is looking at 3 members at the minimum. Greg Gregorio with the big story.
Senator Cynthia Villar has dropped out of the race for the Senate presidency, a day after she reportedly floated the idea of a term-sharing arrangement with Senator Zubiri.
Wala nang SP race.
Hindi na kayo interesado?
Hindi na.
Senator Bato de la Rosa earlier said Villar already secured 8 votes, but now that she is backing Senator Zubiri, these votes could likely shift to the incumbent Senate Majority Leader. In response, Zubiri thanked Villar for the support, and as early as now, Zubiri said they've already gone over how the Senate would look under his possible leadership. Senator-elect Loren Legarda will be the Senate pro tempore, while Senator Joel Villanueva will be the Majority Leader. Some incumbent senators will be retaining their committee chairmanship, while incoming senators have also been tasked to lead their own committees. Following this settlement between Villar and Zubiri, outgoing Minority Leader Senator Franklin Relon said the question now is who will be the Minority Leader. Senator Antiveros said she's now talking with Senator Coco Pimentel about their composition.
Well, umaasa po kami na at least 3 kung hindi man mas marami. At gaya ng nasabi ko dati, hindi naman ang pinaka-importante ay yung absolute number ng minorya. Ang pinakamahalaga ay tunay na minorya kami.
Zubiri said President-elect Bongbong Marcos is asking the help of Congress on the next administration's legislative agenda. Marcos Jr. also wants to address corruption in various government agencies. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The Commission on Appointments adjourned its meeting due to a lack of quorum and were not able to confirm the latest appointments made by President Rodrigo Duterte. The officials whose appointments have been bypassed are COMELEC Chairperson Saida Men Pangarugan, and COMELEC Commissioners George Garcia and Amy Neri, as well as COA Chairperson Rizalina Hustol and CSC Chairperson Carlo Nograles. Senate Majority Leader Mig Zubiri later admitted that the Marcos administration requested the CA to bypass Duterte's appointees, so he would have a free hand in appointing the chairpersons of these critical agencies. These are the other big stories tonight. Preparations are already underway for the inauguration of the incoming president, but some cabinet posts remain vacant, with some Duterte allies already being considered, like Roberto Tiglao, possibly as spokesperson. Meanwhile, for today's video, vloggers may soon be part of the Malacañang press corps as the incoming PCOO secretary pushes for their accreditation. And K-pop global sensation BTS takes on a different stage and sings a different tune as they get an audience with the US president. These big stories after the break.
You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. The camp of President-elect Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is still finalizing the details of his inauguration, with several historical sites being considered.
But the real work continues as more names are being considered to fill in cabinet posts, including known Duterte allies. Marlene Alcaide with the story.
The Marcos camp is considering some historical sites as possible inauguration venue for incoming President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. This includes Fort Santiago, which holds a strong connection to the Marcos family. Former First Lady Imelda Marcos had a hand in its restoration.
Pag dito yung inauguration, it would set a very nice tone, no? Yung dedication ng upcoming administration sa ating kultura, sa ating kalinangan, sa ating kasaysayan.
Should Marcos Jr. decide to hold his inauguration around Intramuros, Plaza Moriones may be a viable option. Park leadership is already readying the venue just in case.
Aside from na makasaysayan itong ating site dito sa Fort Santiago. Itong ating area is gated, so very ideal siya for controlling security.
But the real work has already started. With Marcos Jr.'s transition team still finalizing possible cabinet nominees, some agencies whose leaderships have been determined are to begin transition work next week, including DSWD, where incoming Secretary Erwin Tulfo has bared two of his undersecretaries, Jericho Javier and Sally Navarro.
I have only chosen two pa lang who will come with me on Monday. Para sa transition, I will limit bringing in so many people because I want to promote people from within.
Meanwhile, incoming Finance Secretary Ben Jokno mentioned that outgoing Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat will be the BSP's new Deputy Governor. Incoming DICT Secretary Ivan Uy also pointed out Marcos Jr.'s marching orders.
One is on digital connectivity. He wanted me to work on providing connectivity, good connectivity with reasonable cost, especially in the remote areas where our primary telcos could not go there.
Other names, meanwhile, continue to be floated as possible cabinet officials. That includes outgoing Congressman Rodante Marcoleta, rumored to head the Energy Department. There's also word that columnist Rigoberto Tiglao or attorney Karen Jimeno could become the new presidential spokesperson.
We can confirm that those names are being talked about, but there are no decisions being made yet as of now. Wala pa po.
For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
As incoming Secretary of a department heavily involved with pandemic recovery, what are the plans of Erwin Tulfo? That big question and more with incoming Social Welfare Secretary Erwin Tulfo. Erwin, welcome to the big story.
Good evening, Rob, and thank you for inviting me in your program.
Well, Secretary na lang itawag ko sa iyo para mas madali, no?
Sure, Rob.
Pero ito, kasagsagan, nag-uumpisa na nga ang tag-ulan. At saka alam din naman natin, hindi natin mapredict kung ano-anong klaseng salanta ang tatama sa atin sa kada buwan. Anong nasa isip mo ngayon pa lang?
Actually, Rob, ang marching order, unang-una sa lahat ng Pangulo ay yung pandemic recovery, yun na doon na dapat mag-focus at saka digitalization ng mga ayuda. Pero syempre, malapit na magbagyo, kailangan ayusin yung mga lalong-lalo na yung reklamo ng mga nadidelay na pag-deliver ng mga food packs, ng mga relief goods sa mga nasalanta, sa mga nasunugan. Because of the fact na medyo mabagal nga, okay, yung dating ng mga ayuda, well, ang dahilan kasi ng mga tao on the ground is because may mga nakahambalang na puno during storm and may baha, hindi kakayanin. Ang solution ko dyan, Rob, is i-preposition na itong mga ayuda na ito sa mga evacuation centers para may nagagamit na in less than 24 hours nandoon, bubuksan na lang ng mga kababayan natin, may bibigay na lang sa kanila doon sa evac centers, Rob.
Secretary, syempre, as DSWD Secretary, you will be working with a lot of agencies, a lot of levels of government, kasama na dyan militar, ang police, mga local governments, iba't ibang sektor. Pero hindi rin naman kaila sa lahat ng tao. Nakakilala ka bilang broadcaster, matapang, maanghang magsalita. Marami ka binanatan, marami ka rin nakaaway sa lahat ng nabanggit natin. How do you work with them? Are you confident? Siguro fair naman sabihin, marami kang nakaaway. How do you work with everyone na bumabati ko sa'yo?
Sir, I guess I have to show them, all right? Kaya ho naman nababatikos at doon sa mga nababatikos natin dati because meron hong problema, may mali ho eh. Kailangan lamang hong ayusin. Yung mga tao, they're expecting for the government to work properly. Lalo po dito sa DSWD, sir, kailangan siguro talaga when you talk about DSWD, kailangan ng ayuda, kailangan mabilis, kailangan prompt, kailangan doon talaga napupunta sa tamang mga tao. Ang problema kasi ang reklamo nagagamit, nauuna, nabibigyan yung mga kamag-anak nila chairman, ng mga chief executives, doon nauuna. When in fact, yung others, yung talagang nangangailangan na walang-wala na pag-iiwanan, sir. So dapat maintindihan po yun ng mga nababanata natin before Siguro kung gagawin ho natin trabaho, ako sir, open ako eh. Open ho akong banatan eh. Kung patamad-tamad at patulog-tulog ako at ang aking mga tauhan, normal lang ho yun. I will accept that criticisms because it's constructive. Ibig sabihin, kaya ka nababanatan para ayusin ang trabaho. I encourage the media men and women. Hindi lang po media men and women, pati ho yung may mga social media, yung mga bloggers ho natin. Call my attention para maayos ko ho yung trabaho. I would welcome that, Sir Robbie.
Okay, now speaking of ayusin ang trabaho, ano po ba ang nakikita niyong pinakamahirap na challenge sa totoo lang?
Yung linisin ho, yung listahan, sir, ng mga ayuda, lalo na po yung 4Ps. It's a big list, sir. Thousands and thousands of names there. Marami ho dyan. May mga patay na. Yung iba dyan, hindi naman talaga kailangan. Kamag-anak lang ng mga opisyal, ng sa barangay o sa mga LGUs. Yun ho ang dapat alisin ho natin. Kailangan ho natin i-purge yan, kailangan natin ikumpara yung listahan ng DSWD sa listahan ng barangay. Kung pwede pa nga, listahan nila mayor. Kung meron pa listahan din ng simbahan, makikipag-ugnayan ka sa simbahan, ano ba? At pag ima-match natin yung 3-4 na listahan para makita. Kung kunwari, si Erwin Tulfo, wala dito sa DSWD, pero meron siya sa barangay, wala siya sa simbahan. Kailangan hong pag-aralan. Ang problema ko kasi, sir, marami hong mga tumatanggap ng ayuda ngayon na dapat hindi po tumatanggap. Kaya yun po ang marching order din ni President-elect Marcos, linisin para nabibigyan ng lahat yung mga nangangailangan. Yung mga hindi naman nangangailangan at may kakayahan namang mabuhay, makakain, alisin ho doon sa listahan.
Okay, Secretary Tulfo, maraming salamat po. That was incoming DSWD Secretary Erwin Tulfo.
K-pop global sensation BTS is using their platform to discuss anti-Asian hate crimes during a visit to the White House. Laila Panghilinan with the report.
Hi, we're BTS, and it is a great honor to be invited to the White House.
Global sensation BTS has just visited the White House, not to show their dynamite moves, but to discuss anti-Asian hate. The 7 members each took the podium to give short statements. The band's lead rapper Suga highlighted embracing one's differences.
나와 다르다고 그것은 잘못된 일이 아닙니다. 옳고 그름이 아닌 다름을 인정하는 것으로부터 평등은 시작된다고 생각합니다.
Vocalist V meanwhile called on everyone to respect each other.
네, 우리는 모두의 각자의 역사를 가지고 있습니다. 오늘 한 사람 한 사람이 의미 있는 존재로서 서로 존중하고 이해하기 위한 또 한 걸음이 되기를 바랍니다.
They also met with U.S. President Joe Biden in a closed-door meeting. On Facebook, Biden shared the short clip with BTS.
People care a lot about what you say, and what you're doing is good for all people.
The K-pop superstars are known for using lyrics and social campaigns to empower the youth. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
Time for another quick break. When we return, reporters may soon find themselves in the company of vloggers in Malacañang. This as the incoming administration is looking to accredit online personalities to cover the palace. And singer-songwriter Moira Dela Torre and her husband Jason Hernandez have announced the end of their 3-year marriage after he confessed to being unfaithful. These and other big stories after the break.
watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Journalists from different media outlets may soon find themselves in the company of vloggers while covering palace briefings.
This as incoming PCOO Secretary and vlogger Trixie Cruz Angeles is now pushing for the accreditation of online influencers in the Malacañang press corps. Pamela Vasquez with the report.
The public might see vloggers covering Malacañang press briefings soon. Incoming Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles plans to give online personalities an access to press cons.
We are pushing for the accreditation of vloggers to be invited to some of the briefings, especially those conducted by the President.
But for UP Journalism Associate Professor Danilo Arao, this could be a dangerous proposition.
It's dangerous in the sense that we have various forms of fake news, particularly historical denialism and red tagging. So the perpetrators wouldn't be, provided too much privilege in terms of access to information. You don't do that at the expense of the journalists.
If this pushes through though, Arao says there should be a transparent selection process and clear guidelines.
We don't want a certain degree of favorable treatment for certain individuals just because they are supportive of the administration. And if you're critical, then you are deprived of accreditation.
The National Union of Journalists of the Philippines has also called on upholding freedom of expression in a statement. They claim that media workers are being dominated by vloggers. NUJP also questioned whether the PCOO will take responsibility for the contents they're going to put out. The Malacañang Press Corps meanwhile said that they will wait until this accreditation is carried out by the next admin. Angeles, who was a lawyer vlogger prior to her nomination, has earlier said that she plans to hold press briefings once to twice a week. Would she allow journalists to cover these events?
I think we'll have to take a look at the existing policy first and make a decision later on as to how appropriate they are for the current times.
Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
After months of rumors and speculations, singer-songwriter Moira Dela Torre and husband Jason Hernandez announced that they are splitting up after a 3-year marriage. This was confirmed by the ex-couple via joint statement posted on Jason's Instagram on Tuesday. In the post, Hernandez confessed to being unfaithful. Sending his apologies to fans and especially to ex-wife Moira, Hernandez says he takes full responsibility for what happened. This announcement was followed by Moira posting a blank Instagram story. Dela Torre has also unfollowed her ex-husband on Instagram, leaving no photos of them on her page. In a tweet last April, Hernandez addressed some breakup rumors, stressing that Moira did not cheat.
But di mo sinabi nung una pa lang, ako ang kailangan, pero di ang mahal.
For News 5, Jenny Dongon, We Are One News.
Doon na lang tayo sa mas masaya. Dito na lang tayo. Mas masaya to. OPM pa rin. Folk pop band Ben and Ben surprised a couple during their wedding.
The unsuspecting couple were caught by surprise as a 9-member band went in and played their latest single, Paninindigan Kita. Let's watch this.
Surprise natin sila.
Pag mahal mo talaga ang isang tao, kaya mo siyang panindigan.
paninindigan kita.
Mabuhay ang bagong kasal. Di ba? Yung mga
bagong
araw
kasal.
na ganyan, kailangan ganyan ng mga balitang pantapos mo.
Katulad
di ba?
ni Carla Abellana, katulad ni sino pa ba? Sino pa ba yung mga kanina
Hindi natin
may
nakuha yung pangalan
compilator
ng
si Moira.
Hindi natin nakuha yung pangalan ng bagong kasal. Pero we'll leave you with those good vibes.
Sabi ko
Paninindigan kita.
Hindi, sabi ko kagabi, ano ba yan, pati true love, fake news na.
Ay, naku, yan ang hirap. Sinabi ko sa'yo, iwan mo lang sa good vibes. May bagong kasal. Happy tayo para sa
Pero
kanila.
natutuwa naman ako kasi nakita ko rin kanina sa feed ko, marami akong mga kaibigang lalaki na sinasabi, huwag kayo mawala ng pag-asa, may mga loyal pa rin na lalaki.
Ayan.
Katulad mo, di ba?
Kita mo?
Mabuhay ang true love. That wraps up today's big story. Catch us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And get vaccinated, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
I'm Gretchen Ho. We are One News. Have a good evening.